Hello students, how are you? Hope all of you are fine and safe at your home. Students, today we will start our lesson number 16, Handy Andy at the Post Office. Now here students, there are two questions. Like, do you know some people who make us laugh? क्या आप कुछ ऐसे लोगों को जानते हैं जो हमें हंसाने में मदद करते हैं, हंसने में? And second one is, what kind of person are they? इस तरह के जो पर्सन होते हैं उन्हें वो कौन से प्रकार के कहलाते हैं? Now these questions answer we get in this lesson. So we have start reading of that lesson. So all of you have to listen it carefully. Ride into the town and see there is a letter from me, said the squire one day to our hero Andy. Yes, sir. You know where to go? To the town, sir. But do you know where to go in the town? No, sir. And why don't you ask, you stupid? Sure, I had find out, sir. Didn't I often tell you to ask what you are to do when you don't know? Yes, sir. And why don't you? I don't like to be troublesome, sir. Confound you, said the squire, though he could not help laughing at Andy's excuse for remaining in ignorance. Well, continued he, go to the post office. You know the post office, I suppose. Yes, sir, where they sell gunpowder. You are right for once, said the squire, for his majesty's postmaster sold gunpowder. Go then to the post office and ask for a letter for me. Remember, not gunpowder, but a letter. Yes, sir, said Andy, who got on his horseback and trotted away to the post office. On arriving at the shop of the postmaster, for that person carried on a brisk trade in groceries and linen, Andy went to the counter and said, I want a letter, sir, if you please. Who do you want it for? Said the postmaster. Andy thought the postmaster was very curious. What business did he have with a private letter? Why should he know who it was for? So Andy thought was what coolest contempt he could throw upon the impertinence of the postmaster if he was to repeat his demand. I want a letter, sir, if you please. And who do you want it for? Repeated the postmaster. What's that to you? Said Andy. The postmaster, laughing at his simplicity, told him he could not tell what to give him unless he told him the directions. The directions I got was to get a letter here. Those are the directions. Who gave you those directions? The master. And who's your master? What is that to you? Why, you stupid, if you don't tell me his name, how can I give you the letter? You could give it if you liked, but you are fond of asking impertinent questions because you think I am simple. Get out, your master must be as great a goose as yourself to send such a messenger. Is it Squire Egan you dare to say goose? Cried Andy. Oh, Squire Egan's your master then. Yes, have you anything to say against it? Only that I never saw you before. Then you will never see me again if I have my way. I won't give you any letter for the squire unless I know you are his servant. Is there anyone in the town who knows you? Plenty, said Andy. It is not everyone who is as ignorant as you. Just at this moment, a person who knew Andy came into the shop, who told the postmaster that he might give Andy the squire's letter. Have you one for me? Asked this gentleman. Yes, sir, said the postmaster, producing 4 pence. The gentleman paid the 4 pence postage and left the shop with his letter. Here is a letter for the squire, said the postmaster. You have to pay me 11 pence postage. What should I pay 11 pence for? For postage. To the devil with you. Didn't I see you give Mr. Durfee a letter for 4 pence this minute? And a bigger letter than this. And now you want me to pay 11 pence for this scrap of a thing? Do you think I am a fool? No, but I am sure of it, said the postmaster. Well, you are welcome to be sure, but don't delay me now. Here is 4 pence for you and give me the letter. Go along, you stupid, said the postmaster, taking up the letter and going to serve a customer with the mousetrap. While this person and many others were served, Andy walked up and down the shop, every now and then putting his head in the middle of the customers and saying, "Will you give the letter?" He waited for about half an hour in spite of the taunts of the postmaster, and at last left when he found it impossible to get common justice for his master. The squire in the meantime was getting impatient for his return, and when Andy made his appearance, asked if there was a letter for him. "There is, sir," said Andy. "Then give it to me." "I haven't it, sir." "What do you mean?" "He wouldn't give it to me, sir." "Why wouldn't he give it to you?" "The old cheat beyond in the town, wanting to charge double for it." "Maybe it's a double letter. Why the devil didn't you pay what he asked?" Sir, why would I let you be cheated? It is not a double letter at all. Not alone half the size of one Mr. Duffy got before my face for 4 pence. You will provoke me to break your neck someday. Ride back for your life, you fool, and pay whatever he asks and get me the letter. Why, sir, I tell you he was selling them before my face for 4 pence a piece. Go back, you scoundrel, or I will horsewhip you. And if you are longer than an hour, I will have you dug in the horse pond. Andy vanished and made a second visit to the post office. When he arrived, 2 persons were getting letters. The postmaster was selecting the letter for each from a large parcel that lay before him on the counter. At the time, many customers were waiting to be served. "I have come for the letter," said Andy. "I will attend you by and by. The master's in a hurry. Let him wait till his hurry is over. He will murder me if I am not back soon. I am glad to hear it." While the postmaster went on with such provoking answer to these appeals for hurry, Andy's eye caught the heap of letters which lay on the counter. He managed to take off 2 letters from the heap and waited patiently enough till it was the great man's pleasure to give him the letter directed to his master. Then Andy, on horseback and in triumph at his trick on the postmaster, rattled along the road homeward as fast as the beast could carry him. He came into the squire's presence, his face beaming with delight and an air of superiority in his manner. His master was puzzled until he pulled out 3 letters from his pocket and said, "Look at that." He next slapped them down under his fist on the table before the squire, saying, "Well, if he did make me pay 11 pence, by God, I brought your honor the worth of your money anyhow." So students, here we complete our reading of lesson Handy Andy at the Post Office. So you have to practice it at your home. This one is your homework.